Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Naylo's Thrift Talk. I'm Lola.
And I'm Nay.
And today we are here at a little bit of a different time because I will be going on a trip this weekend. It is summer, and it's so nice to finally be able to get out and do stuff again. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you're tuning in, love to have you. Thank you so much for watching us at a different time. Hopefully some of you will be able to catch it today who can't catch it on a Friday. So I hope that works out for some people. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we have a really fun episode about 10 trending bolos, which, Nay, do you want to give a little more info about
that? So some of these bolos are, in case you're new to this too, and you don't know what a bolo is, it's something to be on the lookout for while you're thrifting or sourcing, garage sailing, whatever you may be doing. But we have some bolos. Some of these bolos are very specific. They're, brand oriented, and some of them are broader and more oriented towards a category or a specific trend. But they're all trending right now. They're hot right now, and they're also items that you can't really lose out on if the trend, goes downwards. They're still items that are pretty desirable. That'll still stay pretty desirable. So,
yeah.
Brian said, cool, YouTube. So we scheduled our show. It was my mistake. I scheduled it for 2 because we just realized, whoops, we scheduled
and
it.
I didn't catch it. So it was on both of us.
Yeah. So, but we're live now. So thank you
so much for tuning in, guys. And before we dive into our 10 trending bolos, as always, we have our usual segments.
Yes. So our first segment is what thrifted items are Nay and Lola wearing?
So, you want to go first, Nay?
Sure.
See, I'll put you up.
Okay.
Oops, so, that's me.
There we go. I'm wearing thrifted earrings that came in, oh my gosh, I think they came in that giant Goodwill repurposed jewelry box that I got.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and there was a matching pair. So, okay. And then my dress has become my go-to dress for the summer. It's big, it's kind of baggy, it's just comfy. It's kind of frumpy, but it's really comfy. And I got this on eBay. It was pre-owned. The brand is Ola Popkin, and I got it for $7.99.
Nice.
So the seller sold, yeah. So it was really inexpensive, and it's just it's cotton. It's just super comfy. And when I don't feel like, when I kind of want to look kind of presentable, but I don't feel like just just throwing on, like, it's just easy. So
it's the happy medium between like being dressed and being in pajamas.
Kind of, yeah. So, and I was actually going to wear it last week for our Coconut Girl show because it's kind of tropical and it has, that kind of vibe. But I ended up wearing a Hawaiian dress and anyway, besides this, but
very cute.
Thank you. And Lola?
And today I am wearing some thrifted baseball gear. So I will get back to this in a second because it's also a bolo, but I wanted to pay tribute because yesterday was the All-Star game. So I'm a big baseball fan. I love watching the All-Star game every year. And most of my thrifted baseball stuff is Phillies gear, even though I'm more of a Red Sox fan because I did live in Philly for a long time. So I thrifted this t-shirt, thrifted this hat, and have worn both to Phillies games. So thought it was time to pull them out because I haven't worn them in a while.
Very cool. Yes, and you are right on trend today.
Yep.
And our next segment is our home decor items of the week.
So I just realized I totally forgot to pull up. I was going to share a photo of my the vintage map I shared a couple weeks ago. I finally hung it up. It looks so nice. It's over the bed in the guest room. And my thinking was that it's so big that it would work as sort of an alternative to an actual headboard. And it works really well, I think. So I will have to put a photo up like on my Instagram or something so people can see.
Yeah, definitely.
But so this segment's all you this week.
Okay, that's fine. So I thought it was funny last week because you commented on how I have a giraffe for every theme or occasion. So I thought it would be funny if I had a giraffe today for our theme. You almost made you spit out your drink there.
Which will make sense to everybody else in a couple minutes.
This will make sense in a minute. So this fits one of our trends. This is actually not thrifted, but it is. So it's kind of cheating a little bit, but it is something that you could find cheating. So this is one of my giraffes from when I was a baby. Okay. My aunt crocheted this giraffe for me. And I still have, so that's how long my love of giraffes go. Yeah, I was literally couldn't even talk yet. And I was, so I think it was just, I don't know, maybe I was a giraffe in a previous life.
Could be.
But so this crocheted, and keyword is crocheted there, giraffe made by my aunt many years ago. And I still have it, but it is something, you do find things like this at the thrift store. So
for sure.
Yeah. So it's one of those items, and you'll see why my giraffe for today fits our trend.
Okay. I think, oh, great. We have one more.
Yes. So I have, we have some actual, for this segment today, we have some items that are actually our items. So this is kind of exciting. So Lola, this is your item. So if you want to.
Yeah. So I don't think it was on the show. I think we were just messaging each other. But we were talking about items that we were like on the verge of donating because, oh my God, we have had them forever. Cannot believe they haven't sold. So this was a shirt. It was just Forever 21. I picked it up from the bins. I got it because it was in really nice condition. I thought it had such a great vibe to it, like very, like I put in the title, boho 70s. Like I could see this being worn with a pair of dark denim bell bottoms, something like that. So very trend, like, on trend. And sometimes on Poshmark, it's nice to have different price points. So if people want to throw together a bundle, they're more likely to add impulse purchases that are a bit cheaper. But then this did not sell on Poshmark. It sold on eBay. I got an offer for $6, was super happy to sell it for $6 plus shipping. And sent it off, got a nice message from the buyer thanking me for taking their offer. It was like their offer was super reasonable. So of course I was going to take it. And it just reminded me that sometimes I think I stress out about items that haven't sold, even though they take up no space. They cost me no money. I paid pennies for this because I paid by weight. When I pulled it out of my drawer, it took up literally like this much room because it's so sheer and small. So it was fine that it was sitting for a while because it wasn't taking any space. Yeah, it wasn't keeping me from listing or selling anything else. So I think sometimes you just need to not stress and just let things go.
And I mean, you made a little profit, and it was something that otherwise you would have donated. So
right, and I literally probably paid 10 cents for it. So to make $6 profit, that's great. Plus a little bit on shipping, I think, because it didn't ship for very much. So
absolutely. And you had good keywords. So these, I was really shocked that these sold. So I did actually take a best offer of 10, which is not a lot. However, if you look at the brand, they're men's Merona sneakers, which are a cheap Target brand. And now Merona is discontinued. So maybe somebody had these and they just wanted, who knows, but as you can see, I didn't even bother cleaning them up a lot. They were really scuffed. They were dirty. I noted that in the description. I wasn't going to do a lot of effort for that price. I just slapped them up. And I got them for free. So my cousin gave me a big bag of stuff and said, sell it, keep it, donate it, whatever you want to do. And so they were literally free. And I did not think they would sell. I was actually going to donate them. I almost did. And lo and behold, they sold, and the buyer paid $18.55 with shipping. So
not bad. And it's free money.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really surprised. And then I also sold. So a friend of mine also a while ago gave me a bag of her daughter's clothes and again said, sell, donate, whatever. And these were in it. And I really didn't think they would sell, especially because now skinny jeans are not cool anymore. And, jeggings and all that, those are not. But I took an offer on Poshmark, and they did pay full shipping for $10. And I was happy. I made $7 because they paid full shipping on a free pair of jeans. So again, if you have items that you don't think are going to sell, try it anyway. You have nothing to lose, especially if you're getting them for a low or no cost. You never know.
And this actually relates to one of our bolos as well. So
it does. Yes, it does. It sure does. So, and if you check out our channel. If you please subscribe to our channel, by the way, we are approaching 1,000 subscribers. And we're trying to get there, so we need your help. But you will see that yesterday we uploaded a new video, a short video. We're trying to do some short videos in the middle of the week now. And this one is about the new Poshmark bulk feature. So we walked you through it. We gave you some tips. And at the end, we gave the ultimate tip about, why we think that it should really, what we think it's best used for.
Yep. And we love getting ideas for episodes from our viewers. And sometimes we get really good ideas that don't seem like they're maybe going to fill an entire episode, like a full hour and a half episode. So we are definitely thinking about some of those ideas that we kind of put on the back burner for now as shorter episodes. And if you have an idea that you think would make a great 15-minute video, like a specific feature that you'd like us to walk you through, or a very specific, like one thing we're thinking about is how to read vintage labels, things like that. So, very specific skill that might not take that long to go through, but you would love us to explain. Please send us those ideas. We'd love to hear them, and we will make those videos.
Absolutely. Yes. And next week, we have a thrift store haul for you guys. So we have not done an in-person haul for both of us in a while because of the pandemic. And even though I am able to physically get to a thrift store now, I'm vaccinated, I feel better about things. It's hard for me with my schedule and my kids, but there is a small local thrift store that I am going to make a trip to and do a little haul for you guys. And Lola's going to make a local thrift store run too, or maybe you'll find some stuff in DC. Yeah,
I'm not sure yet. I'll see if I have time in DC. I'm not going to be gone for that long, but if not, I will definitely probably make it back to Savers around here, or our own local small thrift stores are great. So
yeah,
they just have limited hours, so it takes me a little bit of catching it at the right time, but they're really fun.
Oh, yeah. So back at our usual time next week. So that's going to be 2 p.m. for real, 2 p.m. and that's next Friday. So join us then. And then I wanted to give a shout out. There is a seller. Her name is Inga. So last week on our episode, our Coconut Girl aesthetic episode, you might have noticed that I had a flower in my hair. And that was a flower barrette that I purchased from a seller. Her name is Inga. Her user ID on eBay is CatDance56, and her store name is Moondance Boutique. So what happened is I had remembered that she gave me a business card. She packaged it really nicely, shipped it fast. I love the barrette. They're all handmade hair clips, and it was made really well. It's super cute, and they're really reasonably priced. So I gave her a shout out on Instagram, but I couldn't find her card. She had included a card, and I couldn't remember if she had Instagram. So I reached out to her and I sent her the photo. That was the photo I posted on Instagram. And I said, hey, I gave you a shout out. If you have an Instagram ID, I lost your business card, so let me know. And she wrote me back and said, I don't, but I should go on Instagram, but I'll send you some business cards so that, and I was like, yeah, that would be great. So she sent me some business cards and a cute little note, and her business cards are adorable. I really appreciate them as a graphic designer. So, and she actually subscribed. So
yes, if you're watching, hello. And definitely going to be shopping, I think, looking at some of these.
So here are her handmade, she makes pins and hair clips, and a lot of them again are very reasonably priced. And there's also, it's not just a lot, she made jewelry, there's crocheted hats, and just really cute items. So definitely has that homemade, handmade vibe, and it's a small business that you would be supporting, and she is really, really nice, great seller. So I highly recommend her. So peruse her store. It's called Moondance Boutique on eBay.
Very cool.
So, and with that, we will get into our main segment.
Oh, Hazel asks, what's replacing skinny jeans? We will get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that in a minute. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Who's going first?
Well, I have the banner set up in order by,
okay.
So the first one is Adidas Jeremy Scott clothing and items. So here is, I'm going to bring up the articles first, then you can bring up the comments.
Okay.
So if you don't know who Jeremy Scott is, so he had a partnership with Adidas. He is mostly a lot of high top sneakers and athletic wear. clothing, but there are also some women's shoes like heels and other things available. So you will be surprised that, you know, some of the things are actually kind of girly. So, but he had a partnership that started in 2003 with Adidas and ended in 2015. And then Adidas decided to do a new contract with him, and that's going to return in the fall of this year. Well, in the meantime, recently, his items have just taken off on the reseller market. So you will see, you can read, and we'll link to this article in the description, but you will see that, and this is from the actual Adidas page, you will see that his items can sell for a lot, and it's pretty crazy. So definitely look for Jeremy Scott Adidas collabs. And I think, so what happened is, I think people got word, and then it kind of, his items have always been trending, but I think it kind of re-sparked the interest in the older line. So look for those now. And then in the fall, I'm sure that the new items, when they hit the stores, they'll start to filter their way through the thrift stores and whatnot. So just look for the Jeremy Scott Adidas name. And then Lola has some comps to bring up for that. Oops, that was my light. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, these are, you can see the funky colors. These sold for $180 on Poshmark, which is crazy. They all sell for a lot. So, and these were pre-owned. So, and then again, okay, so these are women's shoes, and you can see
really cool.
They're kind of trendy. They have like the little wedge heel, the platform wedge heel, and they're a little more girly. So, but they still have that Adidas vibe. So these,
and those look like they're not super worn, but definitely not brand new. And
no, that you can tell that they're broken in. Yeah, they've got
broken in. That is the right word for those.
And they still and then here's an example. So
those are so cool. I wish I could wear these.
They are adorable. So he also does girly shoes. So yeah, so you would think Adidas would just be all athletic, but it's not. So look in the women's shoe section as well. And here's an example of one of his athletic wear. It's a fun jumpsuit. I mean, it's just really vibrant colors and a lot of throwback kind of retro 80s styles. So really fun.
Yeah. Super, super cool and distinctive.
Yeah. Sure. And they all sell for a decent amount. So anything you find, even if it has some wear, is a sure bet.
Yeah, that's great to know, because sometimes these bolos, they really are dependent on quality or condition. And so this is one where even if you find something worn, it's worth listing.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my first item is more general, and that is baseball outfits. So that's why, one of the reasons why I wore this today. So baseball is back. A lot of the stadiums, if not all of them, have full capacity. I bought tickets for the local minor league team, and even those were sold out. We wanted to get tickets for like 2 weeks away, and we couldn't get them until like late August. So people are excited to get back to baseball. And it's summer. It's a great summer pastime. It's outdoors. So I think also if people are still a little anxious about being in crowds, that it's at least outdoors. And everyone this summer, I think, is a little bit more thinking about like looking cute, and like you're making up for lost time on Instagram. So you really want to have the right outfit, the right accessories. And this is stuff that does sell every year during baseball season. But I think this year especially, it's a good time to be looking out and listing these things. So Dooney and Burke does a collab where they have these little wristlets that are appropriately sized for bringing into the ballpark, and they have the team logos on them. These are boys. At first I thought that they were like adult size. So this is a nice sale price for a pair of boys size. Oh, yeah. So what size is that for my reference, Nate? Because I don't know.
I can't see. What's the size? I can't see.
Size 10. So is that like a
10 would be a medium, a boy's medium.
So what age? Like,
like
pretty young.
8 to 10 years old.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, super cute. If you're taking your kids to the ballpark, this would be really adorable no matter what team you're rooting for. So I'm not surprised that those did well. Jerseys are generally very, very expensive new. So when you find them, they can be good money. Of course, you want to check who the player is, because if it's a player that no longer plays for the team, probably not as good. If it's a really, really famous player, there are some players like I named one of my cats after Ted Williams. If you go to a Red Sox game, you always see Ted Williams jerseys no matter what. So, you know, he was just a legend that people still love his jersey. But, you know, a blank jersey with no name is the best probably. If you find one, sometimes they are like made specifically for a fan. So it'll have the fan's last name on the back. Those definitely probably you want to skip those. But just know if you Google a name and you're not finding anything, it might be a fan made jersey. So
yeah. And raglan tees too is another one.
Yeah, baseball, like raglan tees are good. So this I thought was a fun comp because I remember getting a t-shirt. This is not like a you know, major league team. It looks like a high school team or a small town team, but it has like a really fun vibe. I got a very, very distressed tee that was along these lines from a blue box, and it was not in good enough condition to list. But I remember thinking, I wonder if it's worth something, especially like on Depop, if it were in better condition. So $20 for a tee I got in like a, you know, 1 for 10 box, I think would make me pretty happy. So
yeah. And distressed items on Depop are also, it's forgivable there. And
exactly.
And also,
this was even on Poshmark though. So, you know, some of these things are still on Poshmark too.
Yeah, so, but if you can also, if you are crafty, you can tie dye or, you know, do some fun things to, you know, with distressed items. So, and
then let's see, okay, I have a couple more. Ooh. So Victoria's Secret, I don't think they do this anymore, but for a long time they had a collab. So they had some really cute stuff. Women fans, I feel like, have always been overlooked, but there's a lot of us. So, you know, don't only think about men when you're thinking about sports fans. And I thought this one was so cool. So these old school, really like fun vintage items from specific years, specific championship seasons, definitely will have a dual interest because you'll have fans who are looking for them, and then you'll have people who are just looking for the aesthetic. So was not surprised to see this one sold for $45. And this again is the kind of item that like you might luck out and you get from a blue box or you know, something like that. So not necessarily hard to find.
Yep.
And our next bolo, back to Nay.
Yes. So we have Peloton gear, clothing. Peloton gear, clothing, accessories, collaborations, and athleisure wear. So if you look there, you will see that these are all of the, I mean, there are like a million of them. So you'll see that. And these are just some of the collabs that they've done. So, and you'll see some really famous names. And also like in music, they have such a empire because they're blowing up now with their exercise equipment. And now they just signed with Beyonce. So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. So they have music collabs and celebrity collabs. But these are some of the brand collabs that they have. I mean, you'll see, I'm not going to read through all of them, but
there's a lot. I had no idea. And what surprised me is that they're not like usually collabs like this, you find a brand that's loyal to like one athleisure wear brand. Mm-hmm. And they've done collabs with all of them.
Yep, they do. So they do, and you'll see some really big names there, like Lululemon, Spiritual Gangster, Adidas, Nike. I mean, they go all out, and even all of them sell for big money. So if you find any of these, whether it's new tags or pre-owned, you're gonna have money. So my light keeps falling.
Is it like a ring light?
It is, and I lost the stand. The stand board. So I just have it like hanging.
I never use mine. I should just send you mine.
Oh gosh. So anyway, so Fila is one of the brands that Walmart has done a collab with. So it's kind of brought and usually when Walmart or Kohl's or one of those stores, those discount stores collabs with the brand, it kind of brings the whole brand down. But Peloton brought it back up because Peloton collabed with Fila, and those items are even selling for crazy money. So,
well, I think that they started rising, like kind of becoming more of a high-end brand with the rise of like streetwear and the Y2K, part of that aesthetic, the sweatshirts and stuff. So, but like I'm sure the Peloton helped too.
Yeah. So look for all of these brands, all of these collabs. With is wear it to heart. That's what that stands for. And the Adidas collab is new for Peloton. So that one is really, really crazy right now because that's
so 2 Adidas Bolos now.
There are 2 Adidas Bolos. Yeah. So that one just was launched in March of this year. So that one is crazy. And you'll see here's just a few articles that I'm going to pull up. So this is about them partnering with Athleta and Hill City on Capsule. So those are Gap brands. And this is all about their apparel ambitions and the brand and what they're doing. And it talks about how they are just doing so many collabs, and everybody wants a piece of Peloton too. All of these companies want a piece of it because it's so hot right now. So, and then here's some information about the Adidas and Peloton, and it extends. I mean, they have their own branded items too. Like there's Peloton sneakers, there's Peloton gear, there's Peloton exercise equipment, there's Peloton. I mean, they have their own stuff plus the collabs, plus they have the music and I mean, it's just, I can't even imagine they're like an empire. So look for Peloton. And Lola, you have some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So these comps are just.
Yeah.
Surprise. I mean, I know that some of this athleisure wear can be quite valuable, quite expensive, but would not have expected an Athleta hoodie to go for over $100 on Mercari.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's Mercari. I was trying to give a variety of.
Yeah.
So there's Peloton, a collab with Therese, and that $60 for a bra. And even if this was not new with tags, it would they're still selling for a lot.
I mean, it's half of that, and you find it, at a thrift store. Yeah. That's a lot for a sports bra.
Yep. So Spiritual Gangster.
Well, this actually looks like it went for more than retail, although it is new with tags, but.
It is, but if those discontinued items people look for, so people will pay up for them for sure. And then there's Lululemon. That's a whole set, $225. I don't think that was new with tags either. So
wow, I mean, and that's like such a trending color, has that minimalist vibe.
Yep,
it's Lululemon, so also desirable brand on both sides.
Yeah. So Heather is right. She said they had a major recall. They absolutely did for some of their exercise equipment, but
yes, but even that, it's amazing that all of. It seems like their brand, like the strength of their brand was not damaged by that. Because I definitely saw a lot of coverage about that. A lot of people criticizing them.
But they just started Beyonce. So, I mean, yeah. So Oliver Thomas, this is one of the popular. They also have a breast cancer tote that's Peloton branded. But Oliver Thomas does a lot of big bags like this, and they sell, like you'll see there, $400 for a brand new one, and still like in the $200 to $300s for the pre-owned ones.
I see. So there's the Peloton branding's really subtle on this one.
Yep, but it's there. And these are just Peloton brand. These are straight Peloton branded shoes, cycling shoes, and they sold $100 on eBay.
I think you need these shoes to make the bike work. I'm not sure if you can use the non-Peloton ones. Okay. You might be able to. My dad's a fairly dedicated amateur cyclist, and I think he uses his regular shoes on his Peloton, but you definitely need the cycling shoes to make it work. So I could see where someone has a Peloton and they need a different shoe size or something, they're going to buy this because otherwise you're not using your bike. So
so Jess had a quick question in the chat. So why don't they move so
not the same thing.
And then Brian commented on it. So in Poshmark, in order to duplicate a listing, like kind of like a sell similar on eBay, you have to manually remove the copy when it duplicates the listing. But some people just don't remove the copy for whatever odd reason. Please remove it if you are doing that. So, but that's why if you're browsing through Poshmark, some listings will say copy because people are lazy and they have not removed it. Yeah, there's Peloton Monica Ananu, I think her name is. That's a hoodie, $80, pre-owned or new without tag, sorry, but still, yeah. And then there's Adidas Peloton that sold for was it?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's like yeah. Sorry, I think I need glasses.
Yeah, 70. But so this was also new with tags. So a lot of these are new with tags, but they're also selling for above retail. And clearly, if they weren't new with tags, they would also do pretty well.
Absolutely. So.
Okay, so my next
let me get your
bolo is travel related items. Here. So a lot of the comps I pulled up are actually vintage suitcases because there are a ton that sold for way more than comps that I saw the last time I looked up these items, which was a couple years ago. So obviously things have changed, but regular, like non-vintage suitcases also in demand. Other items that are travel related that aren't suitcases, like passport envelopes or covers, travel wallets, travel tags, like dop kits or makeup bags, things like that. People are traveling again, like I'm about to travel, and people are refreshing their stuff or realizing that they need something new that they've forgotten about, they hadn't needed for the last year and a half. And then the other reason I think that some of this beautiful vintage suitcases are doing quite well is that they can be used for wedding decor. So you can have like stacks of them as sort of a centerpiece or a side table or something like that. A lot of people will like rent furniture and then have them sort of stacked very aesthetically on the side. So if people are starting to have weddings again, I think these will also be in demand for that reason. But so this was just one train case that sold for almost $100. These are also not cheap to ship. A couple of them I noticed did free shipping, so the sold price was a little bit less impressive when you consider that, but still quite a good deal, especially because I have found items like this in the bins. I found items like this all the time in thrift stores.
For a while, Lola, you were also collecting them for decor.
I was, yeah.
Your spare bedroom in Philly, you had like a stack, and it looked really nice. You know, you had a stack in the corner, and yeah.
That is unfortunately something I can't do anymore because I'm allergic.
Right.
So these do unfortunately get a bit dusty. But this was also actually, speaking of wedding decor, we used a smaller vintage suitcase and had vintage handkerchiefs in them for people to take during the ceremony. So that was just, one way that at least I used one as wedding decor. So lots of different ways that people use these, repurpose them. These sold for a best offer, but they were listed for $450. So beautiful leather covered suitcases. These were a really cute hot pink pair. I could definitely see someone actually using these to travel because they look like they're in great condition. It seems like if the suitcases still have the original key, that's a big selling point. So if you do have that, you want to put it in the listing, in the title, like this person did. Another beautiful set. Faux alligator, $230. So this was one of the ones that I noticed is free shipping, but for $230, even if it costs $50 or $60 to ship it to the buyer, definitely a good profit.
Yeah.
I love that they included the original tags that were on the bag are still there. That's definitely a nice detail that a buyer of vintage suitcases would appreciate. Mm-hmm. Louis Vuitton obviously is always going to sell well. This is another three-piece set that's still coordinated. It is definitely rarer to find the coordinating pieces together. So like Nay was mentioning my decor, I had the mixed and match. They were not the original set. So, you find the original set, that's a little bit more unusual. These were a couple contemporary ones that I pulled up. So, LL Bean, especially slightly older LL Bean, is generally considered to be better quality than the newer stuff. So some brands like that, the more like heritage brands, people who are dedicated fans of it will look for the used items that are a little bit older over buying new. This was a brand that I was not familiar with. I'm guessing not super common in thrift stores, but they're definitely high-end luggage that seems like it's worth, getting to know some of those brands, becoming familiar with them. Luggage bag.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah, so it was definitely the nicer, more upscale brand. So like this one is Henry Bendel, which is no longer in business. These were the ones that were selling for, upwards of $20. But it's not impossible to find these in the thrift store. So, small items, probably going to be $1 in the thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was super cute.
Oh, that's adorable.
Passport wallet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then this one it's a Anthropologie brand.
Yep.
Again, this would be $1 in the thrift store. It's used.
Oh, easily. Yeah. So look in, another tip is to look like where all the little cosmetic bags and wallets and all are. You never know what you're going to find there, maybe luggage tags and whatnot. I know that I had last week, one of the bolos that I couldn't pull up because my internet took a dump was it was actually Roxy, a vintage Y2K Roxy luggage set. And it had like the little train case and the suitcase and everything. And it sold in the hundreds. So yeah. So look for like all like those vintage Y2K things and look for what's the styles that are trending. Like we talked about the coconut girl, that was a tropical hibiscus print set. So
yeah. And Heather says she's afraid of Louis Vuitton. There's too many good fakes. Yeah, I am definitely not at the point where I feel confident selling it. I've only found Louis pieces like twice in my life, and I kept one. So I would be very careful. I might send it to the Real or something like that, where it's not on me whether or not it's real. But
yeah. And our next one is platform sandals. So I just want to pull up this article real quick, and then. So this is from Who, What, Where, and this is one of the articles that we reference for these. So we will put that again in the description. But this is one of the 2021 trending styles, and we talked about this in our Y2K episode and in our Coconut Girl episode from last week. You will see like the platforms, the wedge heels, the stacked heels, all of those sandals, like kind of like a throwback retro or vintage Y2K styles are back in right now. So this talks about that. And then we have some bolos. So this first one these are Moschino, which is, again, it's a high-end brand, but you'll see that now these are not vintage. These are new. So you'll see that a lot of the high-end designers, and it's another way to pay attention to what is trending and what's happening. So Prada, Moschino, like a lot of these high-end designers are bringing out new platform sandal styles. So that gives you a tip off that this is something that's trended. And they look vintage, but they are actually retro, this pair. But they sold for $75. But if you find the vintage ones, even there's some here that are unbranded, and you'll see just style that they sell. So yeah, so these are these the
these are LEI.
Okay.
So these are like the old school, the real ones that we might have worn back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
And LEI was not a high-end brand. It was a juniors brand. It was sold like even at stores like Kohl's and whatnot. So these would not have been $99 back in the year 2000.
These might have been $20 maybe.
Oh, yeah.
You probably could get them on sale for less. Yeah.
But now they are selling for $99 based on the style, because this is hot and these are considered true vintage now. And these are the ones that are unbranded. So you'll see just based on style, these were vintage, $130.50. And these are pre-owned.
Those look like if the seller had taken a little bit of time to condition the leather and maybe clean the wood a little bit more. I mean, you could even condition the wood with a wood oil.
Yeah.
You could make those look almost brand new and probably have gotten, well, this was an auction. So 31 bids. I mean, they could have listed it high, put a little TLC into the item and probably gotten more.
Yeah. But it goes to show that even without a brand, that the style really sells. So. And then Madden is another classic name. Yeah. So these were true Y2K vintage. And these, what did they sell for? I can't.
$80. And these are a 7.5. So that is a very good size. I mean, that's like my size. It's probably one of the most common women's sizes. So you are going to definitely luck out if you find shoes in that size. I wonder if this was from an estate sale or something, because it has the original box. It looks like these were just thrown in a closet for 25 years.
I think,
so.
and this was depop, so
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and
and this was the same one.
okay. So our next one is jeans, especially Y2K styles.
So we teased this one a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about this in our Y2K episode. We did do a jeans episode, and a couple weeks ago, I did a whole haul I had like a vault of vintage Y2K jeans that were at my parents' house sitting. And so I opened them and I started to list those, and that gave you a whole different, a whole idea of what you're looking for too.
Yeah. So those are great episodes to go back and look at if you're interested in selling jeans. So Brian was asking, or I forget who, Brian was saying that skinny jeans still sell for him, but a couple people are asking like, what is the new type of jeans? What is the new style? The new style is either flares like these or straight leg boot cut, just wider leg jeans than the skinny jeans that have been big for so long. Of course, because what's in store now is going to be these wider jeans. There will still be people looking for secondhand skinny jeans because they'll get a little bit rarer. So definitely would still be listing those, but this is the style that people are searching for. I was looking through data from Etsy, which we'll also link to in the show notes, but they were saying that year over year searches for low-rise jeans have increased like 450%. So they attribute that to both the Y2K style coming back and also people now getting out of their house. They're sick of wearing sweatpants for the past year and a half. They're ready to go back to jeans and they're looking for new jeans. And I know Heather said like, oh, well, I gained some weight during the pandemic. I mean, didn't we all? So everyone's looking for a new size of jean because we've all changed a little bit in the pandemic and we're ready to get rid of the old wardrobe and bring in the new. So this example is Free People. This is like more of a retro version. This is not vintage. And I was, surprised to see even the non-vintage ones moving $70. Pretty good sale for this seller. This was a sub-brand I was not familiar with. So the AOLA is Alice and Olivia, and it seems like it's mostly their jean line.
Okay.
But these are so pretty. So this seller was using stock images.
Gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I can see why they went for $325.
Oh yeah. I mean, and this is a perfect example of the 70s or 90s does 70s. So this is like the 2020s does 90s does 70s. Like I remember buying the iron-on patches for my jeans that sort of mimicked some of this embroidery. But this is, far more beautiful than anything I ever wore in the 90s. Definitely reminds me of it though.
As a side note, Brian, John Madden is Steve Madden's brother. John Madden passed away, but he was Steve Madden's brother.
Oh, fun fact. I didn't know that. Yep. So this is on the lower end, obviously, but much more easy to source. I do have a pair of American Eagle jeans that I photographed and have to finish listing. So these are the low cut, low rise, slim boot. But American Eagle's mall brand, not high end, still sold for $16 used. So definitely worth it to list these. Another one that's lower end, Levi. So Levi's definitely has different price points that they make their jeans at. But they can be a little bit lower end. And I think that this is one of their lower end styles. But so, $20 for a pair that you might find in a blue box is great. And this is an example again of low rise, but skinny jeans still selling. So, definitely list the skinny jeans. And then this one, I was so tickled because I pulled it up and was like, wow, what a great sale. And then I realized it is Betsy's sale. So Betsy, I don't think she's in the chat today, but she watches live very often. And total coincidence that I came across her listing. So this is a silver tab pair of jeans, classic Y2K style. And definitely more of the Junko kind of big and baggy, really, really wide leg. And And
the small reseller world for sure.
Yeah, sold for $50. So
nice
congratulations,
sale.
it's such a nice sale. And I also have a pair of silver tabs to list, so I will have to try for that price as well.
Yes.
And then, Nay, this was your listing.
Oh yeah, so I started listing some of the. Can you zoom in? I can't see my. I can't see my hashtag.
Sorry, it looks like it's zoomed in for me, and then I know when I look at
that's so much better. Thank you. So this is actually I started listing that big box of the big bin of Y2K denim that we talked about in our show about a month ago. And this is one of the pairs. So that's a silhouette, and you'll see the hashtags I use are Y2K, Y2K jeans, Paris blues, vintage Y2K, vintage 2000s. I probably could have added, you only have 5, but I definitely got that Y2K in there and put a couple, I did, since Depop, it's really annoying. They only allow 4 pictures. They do allow a video, but so what I do usually for the first photo is a collage so that you can kind of see some of the details. Yeah.
Can you hear Mookie meowing? He's meowing at the door. He's really mad the door is shut on him right now.
Oh, that's funny. So our next one is Mackenzie Child's items. So did you have any more comments? I'm sorry.
Did you have an article to bring up?
No, I do not. No. So, okay. So Mackenzie Child. So we talked about this in our home decor episode. Thank you so much. Okay. So we talked about this in our home decor episode a little bit and we've mentioned Mackenzie Childs before. If you don't know, it is a very, very sought out brand. I sold just a glass for like $100, over $100. I forget what it went for a while ago. But anyway, if you find anything Mackenzie Child, grab it, because so another trend that is in, and we talked about this in our home decor trends, is checkered prints. And that is still really very much trending this summer. And so Mackenzie Childs does something called, I think it's called I can't remember. It's the courthouse or court. Now my brain, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but there's a specific name for their check. And and a lot of their items have that checkered print. Even the items that don't have the checkered print, though, sell very well, which you'll see. So here's a lamp that has that checkered print, and that went for somewhere in the neighborhood of $5.94. And
even the best offer on that is it's pretty great.
And here is dinner plates it's the courtly check. There you go. I said courthouse, I think. A little off there, but the courtly check, that's what it's called. So the dinner plates go for, if you have the whole set, it'll go for more. But even if you just find one individual dinner plate, someone will buy that for a replacement, and you do not underprice it because you can sell it for a lot. And again, this is the courtly check. This is an entire tea set. But if you just find one mug or one teapot, if you don't have to find the whole set. The whole set sold for $350. But
this was not a very good listing. So
it's not, and a lot of them are not. It doesn't. Yeah. So you can definitely. I think a lot of people do undersell them.
Oh, and Ginny says they also make Christmas ornaments, so that's great to know. Always go for good money.
Okay.
Mackenzie cookie jar. Oh, that sounds beautiful. And Heather says that she sold a child's tassel. Any profit on $1 is going to be good. So I'm sure that went well.
It is so hot. It's so, and then so here's again, this is a cake stand, $415. So, and none of this has to be brand new. And so look, I have found Mackenzie Child sitting, with the dollar store trays and stuff.
This definitely seems like the kind of stuff that you would find hidden and overlooked in the hard goods section. So
yeah. So these canisters, $650 for the set. But again, if you find one canister, you're still going to get a couple $100 maybe for one canister or so.
Someone broke theirs, wants to replace it. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of the holy grails. So this canisters, they're called the bathing hut canisters. And they sell every day, all day for over $800. So this one went for $900. I have seen them even sell for more, like upwards of $1,000. But on average, they sell between $800 and $1,000. So for the set. So again, if you find one, you're still going to make a decent profit, and it's probably going to be just a couple of dollars. And then these pillows, they do like curtains and duvets and bed sheets and everything. So they do furniture too. These pillows, just 2 pillows, sold for $409, and they were pre-owned. So
yeah, and this is a great tip. Like Heather just said, most estate sale people know about it, but the tassel was unknown. So I knew a little bit about the ceramics. I did not know that they also do textiles.
yes.
So that is, it's nice to know those less common item or less well-known items, because you might be more likely to find them overlooked.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thrift stores always have like, a bunch of throw pillows, from Target and stuff. And did I say doo-doo?
You just said it again.
Said it again. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jason. Jason always points out the fun stuff. So, but you can always, you might be going through in the thrift store and find in the pillows, with the Walmart pillows and all, there could be a Mackenzie Childs pillow sitting there.
You never know.
So yes.
And then my next bolo is vintage sunglasses. So sort of related to the travel, people are getting out of their house again. People are going places. They're enjoying the sun. And I think it also makes sense that people are more interested in, again, their outfits and accessorizing and just enjoying all of those things that we haven't really worn for the past year and a half. So, we haven't gone outside and worn our sunglasses, or we've mostly sat indoors and maybe we put on like our Zoom earrings, but we haven't had a chance to do a ton of accessorizing. So like big chunky jewelry is also a good bolo right now, which we didn't have time to, or we didn't have a space for another one, but that would be sort of, I think, a similar idea about why that's trending. So Persol is a really nice, more high-end sunglasses brand. It's one of my favorites. So I love finding this one from the 70s. Best offer taken in on 144, but that's,
so a tip there too is and it's probably on the stem somewhere. It'll say Italy, or so if you see made in China, that it's probably not going to be something. But if you see Italy on them,
if they have
good tip.
So one reason why sunglasses are nice is for that reason, on the stems, or the, what's it called? I'm blanking on the word.
Yeah, I know I don't know.
Arms, yeah. There's often a lot of information. They are easier to verify that they're authentic, because you will have the design number, often the design name, the place of manufacture. So there's a lot of information that you can use to verify, and lots of guides. If you Google it, pretty easy to find information on how to authenticate. So like I did that recently with a pair of Ray-Bans, I felt very confident by the end of it that I knew whether or not they were real, and they were. The other great thing about sunglasses is that they're usually in the basket at the thrift store by the register.
I've had good luck at Goodwill when I've been with you. You know how like we're always by the register, and I'm always finding sunglasses, and then you usually end up. I usually find them for you,
and then I buy them.
Yeah, it's funny, but we talked about last week in our Coconut Girl episode 2 that we talked a little bit about that in the Y2K episode, that like round lenses and pastel colored lenses are also trending right now, vintage, and that's all a throwback to the Y2K style.
Yeah, totally. And like these are 70s, and they're super 70s, but these like semi transparent colors are really big in both sunglasses and regular glasses. Yeah, so definitely kind of fits the current look as well.
Those are nice.
These, and they said the brand is Urban Outfitters. I think that was just for
exposure, spamming,
but so these were a little bit lower end. These were not sold. It's not super easy to find solds on Depop, so I did pull up some, but they're a little bit older listings. So I think they sold last summer, when I'd say prices are probably up from last summer.
And that style is Aviator.
And then these are, so a lot of the trending styles are the smaller smaller lenses, round
style lenses. Yes,
I tend to like the bigger frame, so I'm a little bummed about that. But these smaller size lenses are definitely trending. So these were Armani. They sold for £20. a year ago, I bet you could get more. And of course, 20 pounds is probably what, $35. So
Yep.
not too bad. I thought these were so cool and funky.
Oh, those are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, sold for 20
Grunge. They put
pounds.
grunge 90s, right?
Yeah, those are good keywords. And then again, smaller frames.
Yeah, those are very Y2K 90s. Yeah.
So these say 2 for 20, I think on here. It's so it's sold for $10, free shipping. So definitely not a high-end item, but I mean, again, if I think these were probably undersold. B, if you find them for $1, you know.
Yeah. Pay attention to the style for sure. And then our next one is crocheted clothing and accessories. So I do have an article to pull up here real quick. So this is again from that Who What Wear article. So you'll see crochet everything, and then it does give you some examples, you know, of what to look for. I mean, there's, you know, that's like a bathing suit cover up set. You know, there's hats and all kinds of stuff. So it's not bags, clothing. We talked about this also in the Coconut Girl episode last week. It is very Y2K. It's very, you know, it's Coconut Girl. A lot of pastel colors and all are trending too in this. So yeah. So, and then, so here's some. So Stella McCartney is a really, really high-end brand. So you're probably not going to find that, but you never know. But this is an example of, you know, how high-end brands, again, you know, fit the trends. So
yeah, and this is a great example of what kind of style you want to be looking for. So if you found a lower-end brand but similar style, it will definitely sell.
Yes.
Jenny had a good question. She says, don't most of those vintage sunglasses have scratches? Yes, it's very common. I do find that it's hard to photograph accurately because the lenses often are reflective. And so it can be hard to get a photo that doesn't have your face in it. And also just kind of getting a good capture of the like any scratches or defects. So I just try to put in the description, you know, a generous kind of overcompensating for the flaws. And that's worked for me so far, but it is a little bit tricky.
Another thing is with the vintage lenses, especially, like I have a DVF pair and I think it's a Ted Baker pair. They are prescription. So make sure that they are not RX. You can try them on yourself and see. It's easy to tell also, you know, if they are RX. If they are, you know, definitely mention that, and someone will be replacing the lenses probably anyway. So even if they're severely scratched, mention it.
Yeah. I think you probably,
I mean, for, you know, just for the frames. And
right. I think you'd also want to clearly say like for repair and replacement lenses, because it's not, I think it's like probably a little bit of a gray area to sell prescription lenses. So
yes, definitely. So
next one. This was so cute.
Yeah, so this is another, and this is like that granny square kind of 90s, Y2K to 70s again. So yeah, so there's another example of what to look for.
So a fun fact about crochet is that unlike knitting, where you can have knitting done by machine, you cannot crochet by machine. So anything that has crochet in it was done by hand by somebody. And so that is a good reason why these items new should be quite expensive, because they, you know, were all made by hand. And crochet is much faster than knitting by hand, but still, you know, quite a skilled labor. Yeah.
So there's an example. That's a cute bag. Yeah. So you get the idea. There's a lot of, and the bag sold for $40 just because, and that's something you could find in the bins. It's not branded. It's not, you know,
someone made that out of, you know, acrylic yarn from a craft store made many years ago. It's not high end by any means, and I mean, but of course it is someone's labor of love, and it's so nice to see it still appreciated.
You can also see in our cottagecore episode that this overlaps that trend too. So yeah, there's a hat that's crocheted.
This one looks like it's made to order.
Yeah, it might be like a China kind of thing, but yeah. So. But, and I also have an in-hand example here that is, so this is, unfortunately, this was my bag. I did thrift this a long time ago, and I wore it like crazy. And unfortunately, the leather is peeling on it now.
Mm.
And it's like peeling so that I'm going to have to vacuum after. So I can't, I really can't.
Is it only on the strap, or is it on the body of the bag as well?
But unfortunately, it is on the bag.
Oh, that's
so I thought it would have its last hurrah by being shown on the show, because this is an example of, kind of like the crocheted look and feel of what you're, looking for. And it's got those perfect colors. And I love pink and green together. I love this bag. But tragically, I think it has to go to the handbag cemetery.
Handbag heaven, yeah. But yeah, if you found that in good condition in the thrift store, that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, and when I got it, it was in good condition. I've had it for years. And
did you thrift it originally?
I did, and it was not peeling when I thrifted it, but such is life. So,
so our last trending bolo is outdoor entertaining items. So much like my other bolos, this is related to sort of like post-pandemic, kind of getting back to normal life. All Jess says, we mourn the passing of your handbag.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the thoughts and sympathy. Yes.
So people are getting together again. People are entertaining. I think with it being, beautiful summer weather right now, and then also the outdoors still being a little bit safer than being indoors, there's tons of outdoor entertaining happening this summer. And definitely saw a number of, surprisingly high bolos for these kinds of items. So the, outdoor plastic items that if you drop it, it's not going to break.
Like melamine or.
Yes, exactly. And so one brand that I saw over and over again that surprised me is Tommy Bahama. And these are items that may be more like retail arbitrage kind of things. Like you might, if you stumbled upon this at Marshall's for less, then that might flip it. But
I used some Missoni melamine plates from the Target collection.
Oh, now's the time.
I should get those listed.
Yeah.
I think I've listed them. They're just sitting. Yeah. So
this was new with tags, but this is the kind of thing that you might find someone got as a wedding gift and never used and donated. Not a huge high-end sale, but this is the sort of thing that's definitely trending right now. Another Tommy Bahama, 14 pieces for $120. Seems like a good sale. Tommy Bahama again. So these were new with tags, which is why I was thinking, this does seem a little bit more like a retail arbitrage type of item. But then I also saw, this aluminum serving tray, which you could use indoors or outdoors. And they said that in the description, $25. This is going to be, a $2 or $3 item at the thrift store. So
yeah.
And trays like this are quite plentiful. And then we were talking about Ray Dunn as another brand that is surprisingly popular. I feel like it's just, one of those trends that doesn't die, even though it's not quite my style.
Mine neither, but it's very popular, especially in Poshmark, it seems.
So Ray Dunn items that are for entertaining, definitely saw a lot of those sold on Poshmark. Chip and dip here for $20. And again, these are new with tags. So, if you find one at the thrift store that nobody used, or if you find one.
Like I was in Ross a couple weeks ago, and there was just Ray Dunn everything.
Tons of Ray Dunn at Marshall's, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's selling on the resale market.
Yeah, so it's, kind of the thing where if you're, like I was at Marshall's the other day hunting down some of the skincare aisle stuff because I hadn't been back since before the pandemic started. And I was like browsing in the like housewares and kind of thinking like, oh, I should probably check comps on some of these things. And I didn't, but if I went back, I probably would now that I, kind of was looking through these solds on Poshmark. So.
Yes.
And Brian says he picked up a few Ray Dunn. Yeah, I think they're not all made equal, but if you see it, it's worth checking. No idea how to ship bubble wrap. I don't know what else. Maybe double boxing, depending what the item is. Nay, do you have any
3-piece set, like a chip and dip set, or a
Like mugs, I'm guessing, something like that. Like not
ceramic. Yeah. I am not the breakable queen. I try to avoid breakables because I would bubble it really good, double layer bubble it, put some nice cardboard to separate in between, peanuts, not packing paper, and leave at least 2 inches around all sides.
Yeah. And Brian, that's another reason why Poshmark's a really good platform for these items, because when you when the buyer pays for shipping, they're automatically paying for up to £5. Mm-hmm. So you have a bit of wiggle room in the shipping label to account for all of that packing material that you need to keep it safe. A tray with 3 dishes on it. Yeah. So something like that, I would definitely put that on Poshmark, because you don't have to worry about the dimensional weight. You don't have to worry about the weight of the packing materials.
Yeah. And if it's over 5
pounds, ships priority. So
if it's over 5 pounds, they'll give you the label for, you just have to put in, I've done over 5 pounds, but there's an easy way
I've done it. It's very easy. Yeah. And it's not that expensive. It is still a better deal than shipping you would get on either Pirate Ship or eBay. So it's the best place for heavy items.
The dimensional weight goes out the window on Poshmark because they have a nice comfy deal with the post office. So.
Yeah, Hazel says she found a pair of Picasso prescription sunglasses, probably from the 80s. I would probably not worry as much about brand and just look at similar styles from the same era, and then also account for the fact they're prescription. So probably a little bit less than non-prescription. But
just, someone will buy the frames. Yeah.
Still decent.
Absolutely. Okay, so you have more comps there?
No, that's it.
Okay. Alrighty, so our next, let me get this banner off of there, sorry. Okay, so so we have some breaking thrifting news, a few items this week. So first of all, and this was a little odd to me, so we got this email from Mercari, and they are advertising the fact that, hey, sellers, you can list anything. They dropped their minimum listing price, so you can list things for starting at $1, which to me is not but...
Also, this is like 4th of July themed, and I got this like yesterday. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm guessing it might have to do if they're doing like an IPO. I don't think they're publicly traded yet, but they might just want the data. Like they might want to really up the number of listings they have on the platform.
Yeah. So it's a little odd to me that they're marketing, because that does not appeal to me. Hey, you can list stuff for as low as $1. I'm not going to flock to Mercari to do that, because
I can see it appealing to non-professional sellers. Or even like hobbyist sellers, like people who are literally just trying to get stuff out of their house, who don't have an easy drop-off location or don't want it to go to the thrift store because they want to know someone's going to appreciate it. But I still can't think of what item would fall in that category that I would list for $1 or $2 and want to pay.
Sure. I'm not, unless you have like a lot of little tchotchkes, like shoelaces or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting. It's definitely, and it came in this pattern of a few different platforms announcing like new policies, new shipping policies. So the next news, I think, is also.
Yeah. So this is from Etsy. So do you want to talk about this? I guess they're making new shipping requirements for sellers, and they're changing their shipping stream a little bit. So I don't sell on Etsy often, so I'm not.
Yeah, I don't either really. But it seems like, so this article said that you have to include like more details about the item in order for it to calculate the shipping for the buyer. It sounds like they're trying to bring it more in line to how eBay does it, is sort of what I'm reading into this.
Yeah. So if you sell on Etsy and you have more insight into this, let us know.
Yeah. Because we're not super familiar with Etsy. So if you're an Etsy seller and you have insight into how this is impacting you, like we would definitely like to hear that.
And then our next one is, and this was again another email. So Etsy did a design awards, and they have announced their design awards finalists. So this is kind of fun. These are artists and smaller sellers that are selling their own crafted items. So, and they have different categories for this. So this is a fun thing to look at. And there are some really cute, fun items there. So,
yeah, this is always just fun to look through for inspiration. And I also like supporting, small businesses on like Etsy and Depop and Poshmark. So, always tempting to splurge on some of these items.
Yes. And we have a market report this week.
Mm-hmm.
So Lola, you are up first. This should load in a second. There you go.
Yeah, so I had a nice message last night from a buyer saying she was interested in buying multiple sewing patterns from me and would I combine shipping? And I said, of course. So right away, she bought 2 of my patterns, and these were from a big lot. And at this point, I've already sold enough to cover more than the cost of the lot. So all of this is just profit. And they're not, super high dollar items, but I was really happy with this lot because the sizes of the patterns were on the larger size and they're vintage. So it is hard to find vintage patterns that fit modern size people. But all of these, like the size 16, 18, 20 is about, a modern size
10, 12 or
dress
so.
size, like 8, 10, 12. Yeah. So I kept a few because these are patterns I can use for myself, but also wanted to list even the ones that weren't super expensive because I know that, someone out there is going to really appreciate finding it. And sure enough, this person bought 2 of them. So it was a nice sale, easy to ship. Still have to get it in the mail today, but I'll do that before I head out on the road. And yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping she'll message me back, let me know if she makes anything from it because it's always fun to hear that.
Yeah, very nice. And then I had a really nice buyer. So my mom was clearing out. So my mom gave me a bunch of like pantyhose and bras and stuff that she never used. They were brand new, but like vintage from the 80s and 90s, new old stock. So this was a new old stock Playtex 18-hour bra. And she messaged me, she asked me, I had it for $24.99 with shipping. And she messaged me and said, would you do it with free shipping? And I was like, sure. So then I said to her, because I have more to list and I don't know what sizes I have, but I know that I have more. I'm like, I might have more to list. So I'll let you know. She's like, oh, please do. I need this exact style. It's discontinued and I've been looking for it. So if you have any more in this style, I will take. And she like even gave a range of sizes that she could wear. So I will see if I have more, but it could be a repeat buyer. So
yeah, Brian had a great thought. He said people who sell sports cards like the $1 listings could be Worth Point is trying to get more of that market because I know that I'm Worth Point. Heather mentioned Worth Point. Mercari is trying to get more of that market because I know that is very hot right now. And then Heather mentioned Worth Point to Hazel. Who then found comps for this pair of sunglasses. So I'm so glad that worked out. And good reminder to look at Worth Point when you can't find comps because I've definitely been in that situation.
Absolutely. And I sold it for just $22, but she paid full shipping on Poshmark. And this came in a dress blue box. So I did not pay much for it at all. So I'm not really familiar with the brand. The brand, when I did do comps on the brand, I priced it at like 29 or something. And they weren't, these dresses are not selling for more than like $25. So it was a decent offer and I took it.
The rayon linen blend is really nice for summer. So that's actually, kind of a nicer fabric content.
And it was a size 12. So it was a decent size. Yeah. So we have a question for you this week. We want to know what current trends are you thrifting and selling. So if you have any bolos for us, let us know in the comments. And you can find us everywhere. I am mostly Thrifting A and Lola is mostly Run Lola Run, but we are different on eBay. Lola is low 2-spy and I am Coldberry Dazzle. And email us at nalothrifts@gmail.com if you have an idea for an upcoming show, if you want to be a guest, if you have an idea for a short video. We love suggestions and comments. So, and again,
we will be doing another haul. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have an excuse to go to the thrift store. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we find some cool stuff and we will definitely let you know all about it, let you know how we think we'll do selling some of the items and just, always one of our most fun types of episodes, I think. So
absolutely. Yes. So stay tuned for next week. And thank you for tuning in today. And we love our viewers, so thank you.
We do, and we're so thankful when you show up and it's not the normal time. But again, we will be back to our normal time, Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then.
Yes. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.